What's the deal, everybody? I'd like to welcome y'all to the very first episode of Life on the Ridge. Chief Operating Officer here at Lakeridge Human Services, Master Level Social Worker, Certified Peer Recovery Mentor, and Certified Alcohol Advanced Drug Counselor.
I'm Eric Carter, Certified Peer Recovery Mentor, Intake Specialist, and Philanthropist, and we're going to rock out today for y'all.
Man, we're here. We're live, located here at the headquarters. We're here on Finkel. Right here in the middle of the community in the heartbeat, man. We welcome y'all to this first episode. First, I want to give a special shout out to our supporters. First, to our parent company, Lakeridge Human Services. Once again, I'm the Chief Operating Officer over this company where we provide services to individuals and housing. And we also want to give a special shout out to our sponsor, Detroit Wayne Integrated Health Network, who is pretty much the oversight of all mental health and substance use services for all the residents in the Wayne County in our beautiful city of Detroit. All right, so I'm pretty sure everybody's gonna be wondering what we even doing here, because I gotta say, man, if you get it, social media ain't really. I hit E with the man. I want to do a podcast, bro, and he
gotta have something to talk about,
man, and. You know what I'm saying? And then I gotta say a little bit what kind of got me to go on that route was, man, when we linked up with Zeke in New Era. And when I was showing him the building and everything and trying to, get the company's name out there and whatnot, like, bro, just like, dude, you gotta get on social media. I'm like, man, all them politics, man, bro, the internet done turned into a wild west sometimes, and I don't have time. I got enough drama in my life than to go on internet and dealing with what's going on with that. But he said something so important. It was like, people in today's generation, they won't know. Yeah. So one thing that we just felt, and just me, was that we have to start some type of conversation.
You got to bridge the gap.
You know what I'm saying? And then I gotta say it too. I do, from kind of the podcast that I've seen and kind of what's the way to go and the other, like the blueprints, so to speak, to get into the podcast game, so to speak. It's turned, and there's still some great content out here. I'm not dissing nobody, none of that. And that's the one thing I know, that I'm not getting into all those internet games with this podcast. You know what I'm saying? But it's like everybody is trying to say outlandish statements now.
Yeah.
Or like I'm so tired of man versus woman conversation.
Yeah.
I don't even, the 50-50, if I hear 50-50, my head's about to pop, bro. Like, I'm tired of hearing the same content, and it's like everybody is latching on to the what I guess the algorithm.
Yeah, you just adding fuel to the fire.
You feel me?
On the conversation.
And then for me, my piece is with no community, there's no progress. Everything is centered on community.
Yeah.
So how can I step out here and put out content that's really gonna that disrupts the whole purpose, bro?
Or that's just relevant to community, to be able to bring community together effectively, and learning to have that conversation, I think, is the greatest piece, because from the millennial standpoint, I feel we don't run away from having these type of conversations. The why is this like this? And we naturally more curious to figure out different ways to handle different problems. And I think mental health is no different. And bringing community together is no different.
Right.
So but we have to have the conversations, right?
Right.
And I think,
no doubt.
If you're gonna put this on the internet or those things on the internet, why not put this on there?
You feel me?
To bridge the gap between what they want and what they need, and this is something they need.
And then a little bit of the backdrop. So like here at Lake Ridge is we have individuals that go through DWIN. They call and they stay with us for 4 months. Their insurance covers it. They get support services. So they sit with E. We have counselors, social workers. I have therapists. It's just anybody here to assist a person that a lot of times they're homeless. A lot of times there's mental health issues, substance use issues. Yeah. It's just a lot of these individuals are in some spiritually broken.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And they come to our facilities. I have homes as well. And they receive a time where they're able to rebuild their life.
Yes.
So it's like me and once Eric tagged on, cause when did you start? Like
I started just about a year ago from now.
About a year ago. Yep. And then it was like we were able to start talking to these people and having discussions with them that honestly their parents should have had, their grandparents, their, and some of these people are coming here for healing. And without being properly housed, I can't think straight if I don't have a roof over my head. Yes, period.
The foundation.
There's got to be a foundation. So when they're here, we're doing group therapy all day. We're doing individual therapies and all of that. We literally every day hit on topics of just life.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So like mental health, a lot of people think that mental health, and it's gotten a little trendy too. So like mental health's gotten a little strange now. Yeah. Where we're at with the conversation of mental health.
It's popular, but the conversations aren't as authentic as they should. They need to be. And I think that's the main issue.
It's turned into now. Like, man, like I'll hear a rap song, man. He'll say I'm popping pill because my trauma, and it's just like, wait, okay, all right, okay. I'm glad you're recognizing trauma, but now it's like, wait a minute, like it doesn't. You can't do. Wait a minute, and then people are listening to it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I can't fault them because at least they telling you that they need some assistance. You know what I'm saying? It's about. They can admit that they need some help, but if anybody gonna step in and be the bigger person to give them the resources to help. And those are the conversations. We want to be the resource to know that you have a place to go to and be able to rehabilitate your mind, your spirit, gain strategy, learn how to overcome anger, conflict resolution. A lot of the things like John said that are supposed to be taught within your tribe or your family tree, but for the most part, we know in our communities that we come from that's a hard pill for a lot of people that don't have fathers, that don't have mothers sometimes in that case. So being empathetic to that and really knowing how to treat people as people, no matter what they look like, where they come from, of any background, and that's the main staple. And the reason Lake Ridge is so important, I feel, from my vantage point, is because it's directly in the community of the people that's hurting. And I always felt as who's better to treat the people in those communities than the people who come from those communities.
We literally on Finkel and Puritan.
And I get the pleasure of being able to speak to people that are twice my age, grandfathers, people that's my age, but that still respect the level of conversation we have and be able to pull something from that. And I think that's the greatest blessing to have, to be able to rehabilitate the elders and your peers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And when I'm still going through certain things, it's like we not just because we at this position, we therapists and trained professionals don't mean we don't still deal with some of the same issues that everybody else deal with. It's about what you say, management.
It's management. You already know that's a whole.
That's his whole thing, management.
You got to learn how to manage the emotions because man, life's gonna do whatever it's gonna want to do in the first place. Mm-hmm. So okay, once we discuss healing or root of the problem and everything, I still got life ahead of me. So 5 years down the line, something gonna happen. Yeah. How you gonna manage your emotions when you deal with that era in your life? So one thing at Lake Ridge that we urge, and E just said it, is you have to learn how to manage your emotions and keep yourself from what everybody says now, crashing out, which is true. Like, what is the best decision for me while I'm dealing with these emotions and not making a horrible decision for myself and my family? So if that turns into, I have to learn how to cope. And that's just some of the topics and some of the things that we're going to be having on this podcast, because it also goes down to the line of, I do believe that as millennials, and we are starting to take the reins of certain sectors, because like now millennials are entering, they're in their 40s.
Builders. We the creators that
we're
have
in our
to
late
establish.
30s, early 30s. We're starting to have families, and we're starting to be the influence, and we're starting to be the focal point. And I'm it just what I've seen with the culture and just where we're at with certain things, that millennials need before I even go to that, we're the ones breaking these cycles and these repeated patterns of behavior too. So it's important for us to have these conversations, because these conversations, I don't really, where is it going to happen if it's not happening amongst us? And right now I'm noticing everybody's doing 50-50 and man versus woman and all these topics that, okay, y'all, there's a lane for that. But where's the lane for the father that just wants to learn, man, how to keep going? Or the mother that's, she's married and she's trying to balance being a wife, or, or there's the 20,
addressing the single fathers,
the single father, single mother.
It's a struggle through all avenues, but learning how to, through all of that you facing, learning how to manage it and still be effective with everybody you deal with in your life.
Exactly.
And that's the challenge we all must face. It's the challenge that you're gonna have to face. It's about balancing yourself and learning to let things go within yourself. Old habits and patterns that you may hold on to. And
it's embracing imperfection too.
Yes.
It's because Lord knows, man, Nip says, man, I'm just another flawed human trying to get this thing right. And so in no way, I'm not getting up trying. I'm just trying to, hey, we all in this together. So what we gonna do and what decision can we make to keep us from crashing out and move forward with the responsibility of being the head generation? We got Gen X, we got, but in my opinion, it goes back to that millennial conversation. Like, where's the content for us?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And by no stretch of the imagination do I want to say we value the Gen Xers and the baby boomer generation.
All generations.
Because all generations, because they helped shape certain mindsets in the culture where we came from. But moving forward for the next 7 generations, how can we affect and make sure that our kids live in a world where they can be able to address certain things if you have issues, addressing conflict, speaking on things that if you see something, say something. If you don't like something, knowing how to communicate in a healthy manner to come to a resolution or a solution to whatever you're dealing with.
And what makes it, and I'm glad you mentioned the other generation, because what makes us still special is we're still in between.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? We're in between what's of the old, and we're in between of what's the new and what's coming. And
we mix that
we're in the middle of that. You know what I'm saying? Because I still have some values from the older generation that I think needs to be around today.
They can't disappear.
And the new generation has a way of thinking that I get challenged by some of the way they think.
Yes.
But it's to find the middle, that fine line, and being fair onto everybody. You know what I'm saying? So,
because my thing is, you can go and pick out the bad part of each generation, but you can also go and look at and find some great things.
Some amazing things.
We want to, obviously, we know how to pick and choose which things we move forward and we want to pull from and add to our generation to help us move forward.
You feel me?
So, and that, I always want to make that clear, because I've had conversations with millennials, not just millennials, but Gen Xers and baby boomers, and slight disagreements, and I don't want to agree with everybody on everything. That's never going to be the case. But how can we work together to make this thing work?
And one piece too is I see, when it comes down, they call them YNs and all that now, young bulls and all that. But who for them? I had some type of, when I was real young teenager, looked up to the guys in their 30s or their 40s. Where, so it's kind of another standpoint of like, you two guys, we go to work every day, family, children, we're holding things down, and there's emotions attached to that. And it goes back to a little bit what you're talking about. People are dealing with anger issues, substance abuse issues, and a lot of people don't know how to communicate that. And then and as we hear this word 24/7, but stigma is all the way real. A guy will sit there and look at something like, if they say I smoke crack, everybody will look crazy. But then you got a guy drinking lean all day. What? That is nothing but liquid.
Liquid heroin.
Liquid heroin.
So that's the conversation. And it's like, we glorify within the music, and that's no disrespect to none of the artists that are within that cycle, but it's still certain issues and contradictions that come between that, and we want to be able to have a conversation on that.
And then it goes to that piece where everybody wants to talk about community and change and we generational wealth. We want this and want that. You can't get none of that if your mind ain't together. Everybody talks about, everybody talks about, especially in the city, we got to come together. We generational wealth. We got to do this. And I want all of that. Everybody talks about equality and loving one another and all that. None of that is going to happen if everybody is not on the same mental path of that goal. Point blank, period. We just going to be sitting here yelling at each other, wondering why we ain't moved forward. Without the mind, nothing else follows. So if I'm sitting here saying I want Detroit to be the best in the inner city, you know what I'm saying? I want the inner city to thrive. I want more parks. I want more finances. I want more this. First thing starts with, okay, faith without works is dead. What are you doing? What are you?
And what do you know?
And what do you know?
And I think that's the main part for me, because once you know, you're responsible for what you know. If you know certain things around your community don't look a certain way, we need more producers and builders to help make it look as such.
I'll even go as far as this. Someone had to teach me how to eat right. Like, I thought, food was food. I'm eating burgers, pizza, I just eat to get full, and that is what it is. And it's not, we eat for taste when you're really supposed to eat to live. So there's certain sectors within departments, so to speak, in our lives that we all will benefit from having these type of conversations to get to, okay, we want generational wealth. Okay, you need to get some financial literacy. Okay, that means you might have to get a job. You got to get income. That then goes into a little bit of character.
And network. And your actual network of who do you know? Who is this somebody successful that you've seen who's know how to deal with that type of money that you're talking about?
Exactly.
Are you comfortable with having that conversation?
And being open to
are
learn.
You embarrassed to, I always say the school of thought I'm from, I'm forever a student, because I can learn and pull from any situation, whether it's a quote unquote bad situation or it's the greatest situation. It's a lesson between all situations that you're dealing with. And what you gonna pull from it and move forward with is gonna be the important piece of that.
Exactly. And so it's just like when we sit and we're with these clients every day.
Man.
And the things that we hear, the things that we, and then the NC, NC.
Can't forget that part.
But it's like, we have seen so many levels of, I don't want to say despair, but just like struggles. Where we've had to tap into every single conversation of struggle that these individuals face. And the biggest component that we run into is coping, enduring the emotions behind what you're trying to do. And a lot of times, so that's okay, it goes back to the community. We want these things, but we got to work towards what we want, which then means anything as like anything in an idea, you gotta fund it, you gotta manage it, you gotta put time into it. If you want to go to school, you gotta go to class, you gotta do. And a lot of times we're running into people not having the skill set, or not only the skill set, but the space to be able to talk about their struggles.
Yeah, I think it's just a part of being honest, of fully honest on your habits and your work, internally and externally, because that's where, and it's hard to do that if you don't have a foundation. It's hard to think properly without the foundation.
Exactly.
Of knowing where I'm gonna sleep at, knowing that I can eat 3 meals a day, and and I understanding that perspective. It's hard to move forward in anybody's case if that's what you're dealing with.
And that takes another angle to having the conversation, to be empathetic to what people are dealing with. We get into the mental health conversation, then people start berating people or judging people, and you ain't even been through what have these people even. You ain't even got the life experience to even tap into that. If you ain't been homeless, why are you talking about the homeless that way?
Yeah.
If you haven't battled addiction, why are you talking or judging an addict that way? Because we can always judge I could judge anybody's behavior if I really want to.
And I want to say this, and I just want to key in on this. When we speak of addiction, that is not drug exclusive.
Thank you.
It's not drug
people
exclusive.
People addicted to food. People addicted to shopping.
I call it now, what we in right now, we're in the digital crack era.
People, man, they were about to shut down the world for that TikTok,
you see what I'm saying? The digital crack era. And we got to take this serious, man, because it's affecting the kids in so many different ways. Like I say, once again, addiction is not exclusive to only drugs.
It's only the side effect.
It's a side effect of what you're running away from. So we want to make sure we hammer home. That's what a part of the conversations me and John are going to have are going to be exclusively that. Because it's important to know that.
Exactly. Because, that conversation, people, well, all these kids smoking, it's the weed thing going on now too. And the kids, they smoke weed all day and all. Have you tapped into why is he though?
Yeah.
Have you actually asked? And then some of them are smokers. They saw you, you
left the tail in the ashtray.
So it's like I'm not. Because now is, man, all these kids, they smoked out, they're this and that. Are you really sitting down and talking to these kids? And then once I get an idea what bro is going through, then I'm going to hold you accountable. Now I'm not saying don't say nothing.
Yeah.
But now I'm going to hold you accountable because you done told me what you're battling. And a lot of times these kids are depressed. Anxiety, we can look up the studies Overstimulated. We got a lot of undiagnosed mental health issues going on. And to dive into, he mentioned the addiction piece. First off, everyone's got mental health, so we're just going to have to just put that squared off, okay? Everybody experiences emotions, okay? Emotions and thoughts are part of our mental health. So you can't just sit there and tell me that you don't have mental health.
Yes.
I'm not accepting that, all right? So that's just one. Now, on the topic of mental health disorders or illness, I always say it's like a spectrum. Many of us know with autism spectrum, that one kid is different from another. You can put you could put two severe autistic kids in a room and they're both still different where they're at. So mental health is the same way. And some of us are dealing with undiagnosed mental health disorders or illnesses or issues. But also, let's take it back to some of us have been carrying a lot of weight, a lot of pressure, a lot of trauma, and no outlet to get it out. A safe outlet.
Suppression.
Yeah. You're suppressing it.
Exactly.
And that's where the bottle comes out. That's where the weed comes out. That's where the partying comes out. That's where behaviors come about. And that's what he was saying. All of that is a side effect to suppress how you feeling.
And I feel like the only way that I can even address it is because I directly went through that and felt that. So I feel like I'm an expert at it because I've been through those parts.
You opened up that.
But now I'm just at the point where I can be able to speak on it in a healthy manner that'll be able to help somebody else that's going through similar situations. And
what I learned through a lot of experiences was you got to learn how to have the right words, dude. And articulate yourself. Yes. And I'm not sitting here saying, because I don't like that therapeutic jargon and mumbo either, though. And I'm a whole therapist. I don't want to hear where it feels like you just read a book and you trying to tell me something.
And you trying to put your knowledge on what you thought
I practice my meditation skills. Nah, that's what you do. That's what you do. But I can see through it. You feel me? And but what I more say is, I have a lot of my suffering or behaviors or decisions that I've made has come out of me not having the words or the confidence in my words to express what I'm dealing with.
Oh my
You know
God.
what I'm saying?
That's a huge one, and can I attribute that to something?
Yeah.
I attribute that exactly what John said to processing. We don't fully process what we dealing with or what we looking at. We just react.
You just react.
And then once you react, you realize, and you go back in the Rolodex and look at the decision you made.
The consequences from that overreaction. But that's when guys in jail.
But that's how you learn. But how else do you learn without that, though? And one part you can look at it and it's bad, but on another end, it's like that taught me how to be able to articulate, like he said, what I'm going through.
And the piece with that is I have a space to be able to articulate that
with the people who can provide me
the right support,
yes,
or just space. Yes. Sometimes here's a tidbit for some of y'all parents and all that: just stop talking. Don't talk. Just listen. And we always listen to have a response. We always listen to be, especially if if it's our children or little bro, young bro. Young bro comes up to me and tells me how he feels, and I'm overtaking the conversation, and then you wonder why he ain't coming back to you.
Yeah.
We all play a part in how we treating one another, and it goes back to like that point. I got to find the right words to explain to you what my issue is. And to do that, I got to process. And to process means I got to be in my mind. I got to be in tune with myself.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we don't do that. We suppress and we go and do, and then I'm gonna talk about my generation.
Let's go into your story though, as far as like how you even got to the point where that was even a thought to come into this realm.
Bro, I was out of control for one. All right, I was out.
I can attest to that.
I was really out of control. I was out of my mind. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And like, first off, like I went to Central Michigan. You're talking about a kid that, okay, I'm a pastor's kid for once. So there's that stigma with that.
You gotta pour that out.
Pastor kids is bad.
They say not all. Hold on. They don't just say pastor's kid. They say pastors and police kids.
Oh yeah, police kids.
So I was raised by a Detroit police officer, and those are stigmas that run through the community. So go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish that part.
And like, long story short, like I had just straight up identity issues, and then during the time that I came up, like. People had me really twisted because I went to school in the sticks, but I literally was on Puritan every day.
Yeah.
I was on Puritan in Maryland and Puritan in Fairfield every day of my life, bro. Like you can't take a kid no matter what and put them in the hood every day, then take me to the burbs for 5 days for a certain amount of hours and think that's just not going to affect what's going on. I'm seeing, and then I'm in, so the 2000s, you seeing the old schools, you seeing the big 3X t-shirts, the boys with the money and all that. And so it's like, it's just identity. And then the piece is, I didn't have no one that could connect to me in my age to talk to me about identity. You know what I'm saying? Like, now I knew, don't you be no follower, don't you be no punk, don't you do this. But no one sat and talked to me about like, what, like, I'm in the hood and I'm in the burbs. Like, what am I?
Yeah.
Like, what box do I fit in? Over the years, I've learned I don't have to be in a box. I can be what I want. Yes. You know what I'm saying? And that's come from
adaptability.
That's come from therapy. Therapy. Yeah. Shout out to Western Michigan and my therapists out there. But to wrap it, my mental health started getting out of control. I had a lot of anxiety, like anxiety issues, and I was taking suppressing through drinking, partying, smoking, just lust, it was just a perfect concoction.
Yeah.
Where literally I land myself in jail. You know, and my clients.
And that's not funny. It's just like, look, it's
no, it was funny. It was funny, man. I get in jail, right? And it's 30 days. I did a 30-day bid. Then I had to do some probation time. The clients in here is like, man, that ain't nothing. It was for me, okay? 30 days was wild. I was losing my mind, but then I realized this is not it. This ain't about to work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, man, I just started just applying myself and setting the goal to graduate. And then, you know, old man said, you're going to school for social work. I said, I ain't going to be no social worker. They take kids. I want to make some money. They not knowing, you know what I'm saying, what the field really truly is. And I thank God for that.
Yes.
But like, long story short, it's just like, but all those experiences, and that's what makes this field, in my opinion, for people that have endured struggles or who is community orientated, social work is where you need to go into.
Yeah.
Point blank, period. This is one of the only few fields where I take my misfortune, my mistakes, my shame, my guilt, every bad that I have done, and used it as a foundation to help others.
And
you know?
And I want to segue that into my journey, because I think that exactly what you just said, that last sentence, was me. I've always in my life been a social butterfly from kindergarten on. I went to school from literally kindergarten through college. I didn't have no breaks. And, you know, once I got out and graduated from college, I thought I wanted to be a, basketball player. I come from a family of athletes, and, I'm seeing this and that. But really, I just wanted to establish, I never had a passion of this job or that job. I just wanted to be me.
Right.
And I think that's why I feel like I struggled in a lot of different areas, because I always just wanted to do something that was helpful to others as well. I've always was a social butterfly, gave people advice, loved to see people do well. When I was in school, based in my fraternity, I was the president of the NPHC.
Sure was.
I was an RA on campus.
Sure
like I've always been a
he
person.
Was a big stepper.
I've also won awards of community builder awards and all in college. So when I look at all of those experiences, it already showed me that I'm a man of my community. It's just about, I have to take all of those skills and come back to my actual community where I come from and be able to plant my seeds there. And Lake Ridge Human Services has given me the opportunity to do exactly what he said, to be able to right all my wrongs of everything that I dealt with through the suppression of. I always used to think, like, why couldn't I be assertive on certain things and just say exactly what it was? But now I'm at the point where it's like the greatest thing that I was suppressing became my greatest weapon.
Oh,
you see what I'm saying? Where it's like now I don't have to have the shame, resentment, guilt, or any of those things, because I can transmute that to the clients and to anybody else.
It's a part of who you are.
Of dealing with those things. But my life taught me that that's always who I've been.
Yeah.
So now I have to walk in those steps and embody that in every step, as not only just a counselor, therapist, and anything like that, but as a man, as a person first.
This place holds you accountable.
Yes, and I think that's the greatest.
That's what I need this place for.
And my maturation and management skills of life, it has provided me that to see the light that I hold and be able to shine it appropriately.
Man, and I have to say, like, one thing that sets like Lake Ridge apart is I have gotten a skill set from working, and it's a blessing, it's my father's company, his family company. It's been around since I was a kid. So, okay, I was always gonna be the CEO. Okay, cool. But this place has allowed me to evolve at a very fast rate.
Yes.
Because I had to deal with everything. I had to deal with the company, the contracts, the issues. I done been through so many, people, oh my God. It's hard being in business, man. Like, so, everything is on me. everything. So that was like when calling E, I'm like, bro, I don't know why you ain't doing this. you you already think this way.
Shout out to John for really giving me the alley oop because I thought I wanted to be an athletic trainer at first, and then I realized I'm not the guy that's gonna be
social worker can be the athletic trainer,
taping nobody on the sideline. But like you said, me being looking at the sports psychology therapist, and that's still the athletic trainer in a different way. I'm training your mind to be able to understand.
And all roads lead to social work. As crazy as it sounds, I can find you a job. I can figure out a role for you. If you're a tech guy, I could get you into social work. You can make software for social workers to be able to document or be able to do certain things within the. I could go for days.
It all leads to the people.
It all leads back to the people.
Yeah.
And what it does is an establishment, is a certification that I know how to deal and help people. Because let me tell you, you got to be cut for this.
And business, no matter, like, one thing that grinds my gears when people say, I don't need nobody, I'm independent. But it's like, if you're independent,
you ain't in real business. Then.
You need people to be able to support that independence that you say you have.
There is nobody in business that have not been helped.
Yes.
Okay, like,
and that's the only when people say that sentence, it's just like you gotta be. People have to know you to support that.
There is no way. And then like there's a statement. Like to be in business, like a 7-year mark is like a milestone.
Yeah.
Because to be in business that long is that difficult.
You become a vet.
So imagine Health and Human Services, all the changes, all the presidents, all the administrations that we've had to endure over the years. You know what I'm saying? And what the reason why I keep talking about the business a little bit too is it is time for our communities to see thriving businesses that are actually, we are from where you are from. My dad grew up on Puritan, okay? Like, man, we are from here. Yeah. All my staff, Rodney from Black Bottom, I could go from.
Likewise, I'm Black Bottom as well.
Everybody is from, like, now, you know me, okay, I claim burbs. I have no problem with that. But if you think I wasn't on Puritan and I don't have a special love for the city and understand, so when people are coming to me, we have situations where the streets get involved. You know, guys dealing with, and he don't want to. Let me tell you something difficult. Dealing with stigma to open up, and then the guy thinks you the police. Yeah. So he dealing with something that's eating him up, and he can't share that with you. We've gotten to the point. Yeah. You know, some of these guys, man, I'm a HIPAA. I ain't putting no information out, but these guys are sharing stuff with us, man, and they be saying certain things that. You know, that's all, man. We deal with the streets, man.
We just want to say this, like, most importantly, like, you're dealing with people's lives. Yeah. So, most importantly, like, this is some person, regardless of the situation they came from or where they going, if we can be able to help them shine their light to where they can go live a fulfilled life, that's the goal, you know, and we should want to see, like, my thing is we should want to see that from people, no matter what situation they was in. And if that's not the conversation moving forward, you know, them ain't the type of conversations we interested in having because we want to build.
And then my piece too, and it really zones into like why language. I remember when I even asked my dad, I'm like, why, like, what is language? What did you come up with? Why? You know, what was it? And he told me, he was like, for one, my dad's a pastor, so he's pastor. I had a vision and I had a dream about a line of people walking past. And long story short, he was asking God, what does this mean? What does this mean? And he, in long terms, people that are forgotten, that are, you know, no one has dealt with. And the line that he saw it was millions of people. Mm-hmm. So then he woke up. And then he said he thought about, he feels that the homeless and the addict are the most invisible people in our society. Mm-hmm. And that the problem with that is that's somebody's uncle. Yeah. That's somebody's granddaddy. That's someone's mama. That's someone's sister. That's someone's nephew. Mm-hmm. That person, I don't have the actual stat, but 9 times out of 10, with the individuals in this population that we're dealing with, they are connected to somebody that loves them. The person might be tired of the roller coaster, but someone is connected to them. And when you work with that person and you rebuild them and you get them back together, that is a community member returning back to a community. That's a grandfather returning home. That's a niece, that's a uncle, that's a brother that is if you look at our logo, there's the people, the family. Those little people represent family and the family coming back together. Because a lot of times, and then, you know, with our own family trauma, there's a lot of family trauma going on in this city. And there's a lot of hurt people.
Yeah.
So, undealt with trauma and feeling as if there's no one to talk to about or it's just gotten very sticky. And then now they take it on Facebook these days, so everybody know their business now.
Yeah, so that's it.
But it's the returning of your family member and returning you to the community. I taught you what it is to be a member of this community, and I am returning you back.
Yeah.
It don't get no better than that. Yeah. It don't get no realer than that. It doesn't, I get guys coming back in brand new cars. Yeah. They dressed up, got their Nike outfit on, and as far as they even got their teeth in, smiling, they had their teeth.
And I want to leave a quote that, from Mr. Ben, Spider-Man uncle. What did he say? With great power comes great responsibility. And being a community servant, that's a lot of great power because you're dealing with a lot of different people's lives. And it's a responsibility and an oath that we took to do so, but it starts with us first. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm excited about this, man. Man, make sure you guys tune in. We're planning on doing an episode, at least one time per month. We're gonna have topics for you. A lot of great content coming out.
Let us know what you want to talk about.
Yeah, put it in the comment section. Let us know, what you think, how you feel. We want to make this really interactive, and we want to make this a space where we ain't attacking each other in the comments. We're challenging, or we're trying to get to a deeper level of thought and create that space. You know what I'm saying? So we'd like to thank you guys for joining us on the first episode of Life on the Ridge. Make sure you follow all our pages below, and make sure you tap in with us, man.
Peace.